think it could have released when it did. And I would consider this to be stage 1. I do expect more updates to Vibrant Visuals in the future. And that being said, let's get into this. Now, as a disclaimer, I am playing on a PC, and of course, it is going to differ. Now, let's address the elephant in the room. I'm getting a lot of comments saying, hey, for my device, my platform is good enough to run Vibrant Visuals. Why did it not work? Alright, so as I've been recording today's video, you cannot run Vibrant Visuals with any texture pack. Like textures and stuff doesn't currently work as we recording this video. In the future, that is going to change. This is going to be for texture pack, or it will need a lot of resources. If you have things like actions and stuff, it does not work. That's right now, you have to make decisions on using this or using Vibrant Visuals. I know you don't have the obviously that changes in the future, which they should. And for clarification regarding this, people this is also saying object list add-ons in component items will work with Vibrant Visuals. However, and texture packs are not compatible with the new mode at this time. Hopefully that changes. So with that out of the way, if you do have a global resource enabled, you need to remove it. We're going to deactivate it, and then we're going to enable a specific setting. There is a few bugs, and I will outline them throughout today's video. How do you turn this on? So in the current full release, this is going to change, by the way. Go into your settings and scroll down to video. In the latest beta preview, they've moved it up here. I'll show you in a second. But if we scroll down, tap on graphics, we have simple, fancy, and vibrant visuals. Now, one more important thing here, they added a toggle this, which means you're able to change it in game. Not entirely sure where they added it, but you have to turn this on in order to go into game and change these. I'm not quite sure why they did it. On PC, there used to be a quick toggle via a specific keybind. They removed it, so make sure this is turned on. If you would like to change your settings in game, you don't have to back out all of the time. Alright, so we're going to turn this on. We're going to back out real quick, and you'll see how the main screen has also changed. It's kind of a little bit darker. This has and does indicate that the shaders have been applied. But again, there is a few issues. Vibrant Visuals cannot be enabled while in a world after restarting the game until the allow in-game graphics mode switching toggle is disabled and re-enabled. Again, Vibrant Visuals did get introduced with a few issues. This is the latest beta and preview, and you'll notice in the very near future, hopefully by the time some of you are watching this video, if we go into video, they did bring the graphics mode to the top. It used to be towards the bottom. This is just a good quality of life change. This is the current main version. Again, it's not been applied just yet. So let's start with brightness. There's a lot of misconceptions in regards to this. Now this is going to differ depending on your monitor and platform. I have it right here on purpose. For being totally honest with you, it's best to have it around about here. So not visible and barely visible and easily visible. Just ignore these creeper faces for now. Now again, this is all down to player discretion and how you like to play. I feel the higher you have this, it kind of starts to be a little bit oversaturated, kind of takes out the bullet a little bit. The best way to test this is to do voice after time, set, and do nude, because of course it's at its highest peak, right? Now this does make things very, very bright. The best way to test is at the highest peak, midday or voice after time set, and do midnight. Now I find midnight a little bit tricky sometimes. As of right now, of course, we do have plenty of lights around, so the place is lit up. If you go in the wild, it can be incredibly dark. Now I want to share with you a message from a Vibrant Visual texture pack maker in regards to what this setting actually does. So this is Alexis, a very talented texture pack creator. They created Prisma Visuals. If you're not familiar with this, let me show you how many downloads this actually has. So as of right now, this texture pack in the community has over 3 million downloads. It is a very popular pack. As of right now, it's only compatible on devices that can download third-party texture packs and add-ons. And honestly, this looks a lot better than the default vibrant visuals. I have hope that something like this will be available on the marketplace in the future. So Alexis said, the brightness slider is not the brightness slider in the way as it is in vanilla. It's a gamma calibration that should not be touched unless you have a very bright / dark display. So there is no perfect spot when it actually comes to the brightness setting. So I actually think if we do / time set this like, so as of right now, this texture pack in the community has over 3 million downloads. It is a very popular pack. As of right now, it's only compatible on the change this to medium. You can kind of see the spacings on this is starting to get a little bit better. In terms of what this means, like from a distance, I don't think it makes much of a difference at all, because do you really care about your shadows from this far away? I certainly don't. Again, if I change this one more time, we'll change this to, let's go back down to low again. Honestly, there's really not much difference at all. A lot of people think they're going to have like a 10 out of 10, much better experience. Honestly, this is not the one you need to worry about. We're going to put this on high. And obviously, the higher you go, the closer you get to certain like leaves, it's going to look a lot better, right? No debating that. It will look a lot better. Kind of see it under here. So, shadows isn't something I think people need to focus on. And honestly, from my experience, I've just had this on medium. I'm going to put this on ultra. Let's go to ultra here. Because I can run it on ultra. As you can see over here, there's not much difference whatsoever. So, honestly, low and medium, in my opinion, is the best way to have this. So this is currently set to ultra. You can kind of see that one over there is gone. I just want to test this from this range and go to low. Just see. If we get closer to this, as you can see, you can still see it from there. So low, medium is probably your best bet with this kind of setting. So clouds are also where you can save a little bit on your device, because having a higher quality doesn't necessarily mean better clouds. It's all to do how far you can actually see them. I currently have this set as Ultra. Again, you can save on your device. We're going to go down to video. We're going to go down to this. We're going to lower this all the way. And as you can see, it's been rapidly reduced. That's practically all that simply does. I know by reading a lot of your comments, a lot of you aren't interested in having fog on. However, this is one setting where the likes of high and ultra make a big difference compared to medium, low, and having it off. This is what it's going to look like when it's off. Keep an eye on the sun. Keep an eye on the reflections in the water there. If we go back inside of our settings, we are once again going to change this to the opposite scale. So we will adjust this from low, medium, high, all the way to ultra. And as you can see, there's kind of more of like a glow effect. Some of the best biomes to check this out in would be a darker forest or things like a jungle, which we will go and explore in today's video. But I actually took a few screenshots to kind of cycle through all of these. So this is currently with it off, this is going to be low, this is going to be medium, this is going to be high, and this is going to be ultra. Now, there isn't too much of a difference when it comes to ultra and high. So again, you could probably save on this, to be honest with you. And to be fair, not too much of a difference when it comes to medium. I feel like low to high is a difference, but not significantly. Well, let's try this in a different location. We will also try this in a pale garden. I currently have this set to ultra. This is an absolutely stunning biome, by the way. So we're going to go to our settings. We're going to go to video, and I'm going to drop this to, we'll go low. We'll go low on this occasion. As you can see, it still kind of pops through. It's not going to push through as good as it would if it was on ultra, but you can still see the effect there. Not everybody likes to have fog on. Not everyone likes to have it incredibly bright. This could also be a perfect spot to check this out. We're going to change this. We'll go to high on this occasion here. You'll see here the way it's just starting to push through there. And another example here, we'll get out of the pale garden and just see how it kind of looks. We kind of got this volumetric fog, ignore the world here, kind of got away from it, so I'm going to try and push over a little bit. You'll kind of see how the rays work. There, you can kind of see it pushing through, like, down here. So that's simply all that does. And again, not everybody wants to have this setting on. So if you wanted to, you could lower this down. But I personally think this is something that I would consider. And again, not everybody wants to have this setting on. So if you wanted to, you could lower this down. But I personally think this is something that I would consider best to be on ultra. Reflections are also something a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think, okay, if I have my settings on ultra, my water is going to look so much better compared to the likes of low. Now, the reflections will look good if it's against the building, against foliage, the likes of jungle, because as you can see in the water, the reflections do look pretty cool. Now, I currently have this set as ultra, and I purposely put this up here because we are going to keep an eye on the reflections on these trees right here. So if I was to go ahead and change my settings here, and we put this on, what we'll do is we'll put this on off, for example, the water still looks absolutely beautiful. But you'll notice that the likes of the reflections of the trees, that's what's gone. That's all that changes. So if you have it on low, you'll see a little bit, medium, a little bit more, high, more, ultra, you'll see it at the best, right? You'll see all the reflections. Kind of see over there, there's no reflections on this. And that's what everyone was getting confused with this. Now, I've tested this from day one, okay? So I understand people want to have it at max because mainly because of their egos. You don't need it. You really do not need it whatsoever. So if I put this on low, not much of a difference there in terms of reflections. Might see some subtle differences, but honestly, I really don't notice a difference. If you're going to have it on low, you might as well have it off. Save your device from overheating. Let's go to video. You should notice the difference when we put this on medium. You can see the reflections, but what you can't see here is this power I built. So again, the higher you go in terms of quality, it just means you're going to see more of the reflections. But what we'll do is we'll increase this again. I don't think there's much difference between medium and high, honestly, at all. In fact, I think medium looks better. If I remember correctly, I think Google actually said they currently flip. Medium is actually high, and high is actually medium. But you can see it over there. As you can see, quality looks a little bit better in terms of distance and reflections, and that's about it. But obviously, I had this at ultra when I first showed you, so we'll do this one more time. Pump this all the way to ultra, and obviously you can see more of the reflections and somewhat of the power that I created. And that's simply all it does. I think the highest it can see is like 25 to 35 blocks. That's it. So you might have the option of having it this high, but maybe your device is a little bit demanding. It might just be worth lowering it down to the likes of medium. Volumetric fog is the only thing that I had at ultra. Cloud, I did have. Yeah, but you don't need it. You really don't need it. And then now we get into bloom. So I currently have bloom at 100%. You will typically ultra. Cloud, I did have. Yeah, but you don't need it. You really don't need it. And then now we get into bloom. So I currently have bloom at 100%. You will typically see bloom at its best during nighttime. It's like a bloom glow or bleeding. It happens in dark areas. The more torches I have around here, the more you would notice it. It's kind of to do with this like halo / glowing aura effect around the likes of torches. This is what it looks like at 75%. This is what it looks like at 50%. And this is what it looks like at 10%. You're probably worth having it off rather than this low. Also seems to be some kind of aura around the moon as well. We'll keep an eye on that for just a second. I want to show you guys like a dark area because you can also see this in action in your hands. I'm just going to cycle through these just while we are currently checking this out at 100%. Again, this is kind of something you would see a lot more during nighttime. How cool would these be with actions and stuff, the way you hold it? So what we'll do is we'll change this real time, go down to video, and change this to, let's go like under 50%. You can see here, so it's like definitely a significant difference there. And then we'll simply turn this off. So we'll go to video, change this one to off, and basically there's no bloom at all. As you can see, it looks quite saturated. Now, upscaling is also something a lot of people don't understand. Now, I've left mine on this. In the full release, this seems to be the better one. In the previous betas and previews, this was the better option. We'll leave it on this. Now, I think by default, it should be automatic. A lot of you might be or have encountered like a pixelated effect.
Charge. Start your comeback.
Nothing here looks pixelated at all. The more you reduce this, the more pixelated this is kind of going to look. I'm going to show you this in real time. So we'll drop this like 66. As you can see, it's kind of blurry, right? Doesn't look as good. I'm going to also put this on even lower. I know my friend Bartek will probably know now the issues he was having when he was checking this out. Check that out. Now, a lot of you who had this, it looks blurry. This is the reason why. But it should be automatic, so it's probably going to look terrible if you made the change yourself. The automatic will try its best to kind of balance it out. But if you can put it on native, that would be your best bet. It might be laggy for you. But again, all trial and error. Some people might like the blur effect, although it definitely makes my eyes feel a little bit funny. And what we'll do here is I'll also change it to the other option as well. I don't notice too much of a difference here. I think the linear is an older type, not much into tech. I did a little bit of research as to the differences here, but we'll drop that one though. We'll change this to, go to this. Yeah, as you can see there. So that's all I've done. And I know a lot of people did encounter blurriness. I was seeing it in the comments. So it's 100. Reflections, I'm happy at medium. If you can go higher, sure. The higher you build, it might look a little bit better. Fog, I like this on ultra. Cloud, medium didn't make much of a difference. Shadow quality, medium for me was completely fine. As for brightness, it worked here for me, but honestly, This is all going to be down to your monitor and your platform. You don't want to favor performance or the visuals. You want to completely have this on custom time set. And we go today, because for me, when I'm in the hub, this is when I get to encounter this the best. I'm going to kind of go towards how cool that looks right there. That looks awesome. I'm going to go to the exact same spot that I was at before when we started this video. So right here, let's go down. I'm going to do /time set and sunset. And this is where I had it. And that's practically what I had. This is basically what you guys seen at the start of the video. I had it a little bit like less brightness because I just think the best time of day is day/sunset for me, and that's just how it looks in terms of how good it looks on my platform. So having it a little bit further for me, just I like it a little bit darker, you know. I like the greens to pop, the reds to pop. So I hope today's video has helped you out. Just explains a little bit more behind my visuals. I still think there's a lot of grey areas, a lot of misunderstanding of how certain things work. You don't have to set everything to ultra and have a really good experience. And that's a problem. A lot of people don't actually understand. Any more questions or any corrections? Because again, guys, I'm not the most techy person. Feel free to leave it in the comment section. You might have the perfect settings on a specific platform, and if you do, feel free to share it in the comments.